Hello, everyone. This is Jorge from Eurovision Fam. Today we have a very special guest, Jaguar Jonze. She competed at Australia Decides in 2020 with her song Rabbit Hole. And she's now one of the 11 artists taking place of this year's Australia Decides, which is Australia's national selection for the Eurovision Song Contest. And welcome, Jaguar. It is a pleasure to have you here. And how are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really good. This is fun. I'm so excited to be here, and it's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. You must be very busy as we get closer and closer to the date. So we just wanted to get to know you a bit more and also ask a few questions around Eurovision, your song, and your experience so far. I guess before we start, I see you're from Brisbane. I used to live there as well for quite some time, so I'm glad that we have that in common. It's a beautiful city. Are you
Why did
familiar
you
there?
leave? Why did you leave?
Just life, it takes
I'm
me
only
places.
teasing.
So could you tell us a bit more about how you discovered your passion for making music, singing? Was there anything or anyone that influenced you to pursue this as a career?
Yeah, definitely. So I didn't grow up doing music at all. Music was not on my radar. I was very maths and science. I went and studied engineering at uni, became like a business analyst in a software development firm, very far from the creative path that I'm now on. But the truth is, I had a really difficult life and I didn't know how to process that. I didn't have the support and the infrastructure. And I had a best friend who was always encouraging me to pursue my passions and to explore this creativity that he saw in me. Um, but he unfortunately passed away. And it was only when he passed away that I realized that he was telling the truth and could see what I was missing out on. And so I decided to, well, I actually didn't even decide. I was just so sad about losing him that I walked home from a garage sale and I saw a guitar being sold and I just looked at it and was like, I'm going to buy that and I'm going to learn how to play guitar. But I didn't learn how to play guitar. Instead, I started writing songs. And that's where the passion started. I fell in love with singing, I fell in love with writing, and I fell in love with making music. So I haven't looked back since and changed my life 180 degrees around.
Yeah, definitely. It really only takes sometimes one person, one experience to change that direction of your life. And really, it's really great to see that that's what helped you pursue this, because look at all the amazing songs you've created, and that everyone's able to enjoy because of that. And since then, yeah, you've been part of all of these different initiatives. I see you also been doing some touring before COVID. Yeah, I guess my question is, before Australia Decides 2020, how did you discover Eurovision? Did you know about it before? And yeah, I guess what are some of the things that you love the most about the contest?
I knew about Eurovision and I saw bits of Eurovision growing up, but it wasn't something that I was like deeply involved in. And in terms of my participation and ambition to be a part of it, I honestly had no idea, and didn't think about it, until it was presented to me. And then I got to kind of learn about this world and discover it like I was a child in a candy store for the first time. And I realized that this is a really unique platform where, art, music, dance, technology, collaboration, like anything, any creative thing you can think of can be, weaved into the performance and create something unique. It's a chance to innovate and push creative boundaries and also collaborate with people, to create something super unique. So that was my cup of tea. I love that. And so I fell in love with Eurovision and the platform it provides because you can't think of anything else quite like it, you know.
Yes, it's good that you mentioned the community because it's such a diverse community. You have people that have watched the contest since the 1960s and people that have just started watching a couple of years ago, but the love is mutual. And it's
Yeah.
good to see that you embody that as well as you speak about it. So that also leads me to my next kind of topic, which is that, well, you participated in Australia Decides 2020. And in the televote, you were actually among the top 5, which means there were a lot of Aussies rooting for you and wanting you on the Eurovision stage. How has your fan base and I guess your career in music changed since you stepped into Australia Decides? And yeah, how is that shaping the music that you're creating as well?
Honestly, it's been amazing. For so long, I feel like I was just pushing, a heavy load up a hill by myself. But since Australia Decides 2020, I've got this amazing, supportive, and loving community around me. Not only supporting me, but being a part of the process. And it makes this whole journey so much more fun and connected, and amazing. I've got a Patreon now, and a lot of them are very enthusiastic Eurovision fans, and I love the fact that I can, throw two artwork covers or different shirt designs and ask them which one would you pick. I'm gonna go with what you think. They're really part of my team. Um, so yeah, I really love it, and because the last 2 years have been so difficult. Uh, they really did like lift me up on the days where I found it really hard to find strength in myself to keep fighting and to keep being the artist that I want to be. They remind me every day of what I'm fighting for, and I'm just so thankful that they're there for me and believe in me, and that we get to work together in creating this dream.
That's great to hear, and that's something very common for artists to feel in the Eurovision community, whether it's a national selection or the actual song contest. And they engage them a lot, and it inspires them to create better work and to even deliver in a different way on stage. So, and when thinking about Australia Decides this year, yeah, what do you think about this year's pool of participants? Is there any participant you're most excited to meet and compete against, maybe?
I think this year's pool of talent just shows how talented Australia is and how original Australia is as well. So it's a great competition, and I'm excited to meet so many people. Um, Honestly, I feel like each person, I've met some of them already, but I feel like each person has this uh, unique set of artistry, that we can learn from and enjoy. And I'm just excited to watch the show as much as I am excited to like be in the show.
It's so funny that you're gonna rewatch it as well because yeah, you want to enjoy the other artists as well and everything that's happening around the songs themselves too. What excites you the most about the potential prospect of competing at the Eurovision Song Contest in Turin?
To be able to show my artistry on the world stage and to go into that world stage knowing that Australia believed in me enough to represent, um, and to be a part of this amazing and unique experience. Um, to have the chance to do that would, I can't even explain it, Jorge, because like I feel like I will cry, but I feel like I've been fighting every single day. Um, and to get this would just be, I don't know, yeah, mind blowing. So it would be really mind blowing. I would just love the experience and I would love to do it with Little Fires. I've put everything into Little Fires, visually and musically and personally. Yeah, and yeah, if it had the opportunity for the world to see it, it would be just a dream come true.
Yeah, especially since your songs do have a lot of very important messages to share. Um, I have a very a brief, a few lines from your song, which I really like. One little spark that started a flame, one little story carried the blaze. You're gonna try, but you'll never tame these little fires. That alone, that lyrical content, I think, is what's really valuable as well. Like with the rest of the song, of course. with what you're bringing to Australia decides, especially over the last few years. A lot of people that have felt similar to that, or that have gone through a similar experience, this means a lot. And the Eurovision stage in Australia decides are really good platforms to share that. So yeah, I can see why you believe, and you know this is your best work so far, and we're all excited to see it. You've also released Cut not so long ago, which everyone was also really enjoying. And it has a message
Yeah.
to slight different sound, but strong message to convey. Would you say that Little Fires and Cut are part of perhaps the same emotional journey or experience that inspire you to write these songs? Or what would you perhaps share in terms of distinguishing these two from where the inspiration came from?
Definitely. For me, the last 2 years has meant that I was fighting on the front lines of the Australian music industry's Me Too movement. I was advocating and raising awareness for the sexual harm and systemic discrimination that exists in our industry. But it also meant that I was also on my own personal journey, where for so long, um, I was on the wrong side of, you know, I just was on the wrong side of the industry and they treated me very unfairly and wrong. But I kept quiet for so long because I felt like I didn't have the power or the voice. To be able to come out of that and to be in the position that I am now, um, I've been able to also like process what I've been through and acknowledge that pain and that trauma, and songwriting is a way for me to do that. And if we even move back one more to Who Died and Made You King, which is the song I released before Cut, I don't think I've ever written such angry songs like Who Died and Made You King and Cut. But anger is such, anger is an emotion that for so long I thought was a bad emotion. But anger is actually a good emotion if you know how to express it right. And it means that I valued myself and I'm standing up for myself. And I'm letting myself write these songs to tell my truth and to advocate with strength and courage. And so that is a process, I feel, where it's like you have your anger and you allow yourself to acknowledge what you've been through, and then you get little fires, which is after the anger. You get to reflect on your entire journey and give back to everyone who's given to you and supported you, and also write for that part of yourself that struggles to be angry and to be strong. It's a song where you remind yourself that you're not alone, that there are people around you, and that together we can do some really amazing things. So I think it's an important message, not only for everyone, but really for me, that like every little fire can be, turn into this blaze of reckoning and can lead to amazing change. And we can all make a difference together.
Wow. That's actually very beautiful to hear, because it all stems from you, and like you said, it is a chance not just for everyone to feel empowered, because that's also a key message that I felt through the song, but also for you to it's your life, it is part of that experience and your chance to speak out and share how you feel. I guess one other thing that I wanted to check um, before I let you go is as part of Eurovision Fam, we work really hard to represent the views of all Eurovision fans, but particularly for fans from non-participating countries. We're of course a new and an emerging platform, and I wanted to know, hear from you, what region of the world, apart from Europe, I guess, would you be most excited for your music to reach?
Oh,
What would be the impression you would like these new listeners to have?
this one is so easy for me. It would be Asia. And I know that's really broad, but like I am an Australian, but I'm also Taiwanese and I was born in Japan. And I have a really close relationship with Asia. I've, spent a lot of my time in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, like all these beautiful countries that celebrate music and love music a lot. But because I'm in Australia and it's quite difficult to reach that area. You know, the structures aren't quite there. Like, I haven't had the opportunity to bring my music there. And I really am passionate about hopefully one day being able to tour there often and to, you know, release music there and connect with fans over there because I just would love to learn more from them as well.
Mhm. And it's so interesting because Australia has a very diverse population, a huge Asian community, which I'm sure will love what you have to say and equally like engage with you from a fan point of view as well. But also even Eurovision, there's a lot of viewers at the Eurovision Song Contest that are from Asia.
Mm.
And there were even talks at some point that they were going to have their own song contest, which would be great too. So yeah, it's good to hear that you're still very much attached to that community,
Mm.
and that's something you want to reconnect with at some point. Which leads me to, I guess, to my last question, which is, where do we expect to hear and from you and see you perform in Australia in 2022 or elsewhere in the world? Are there any particular places that you're most excited about performing? Of course, apart from Australia besides.
Um, I've just been announced that I'm supporting the Wombats on their tour for their Australian tour, so I'm really excited to do that. But I'll also be working towards a debut album, and I'll be taking that debut album on tour as well. So, to be honest, Jorge, like the last 2 years has been so difficult to tour and play shows. So,
I'm sure, yeah.
my truth is, I can't wait to just play a show in Australia. That's next week at Australia Decides, but like every town, every city, every state, I will take it all because the last 2 years have shown me what I've taken for granted, and that is to be able to travel and to bring my music to different places. So I just want to see Australia again. So I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of plans happening. You're going to be very busy, but you're an artist, and that's what you're living for, which is really great to see you get that as well, especially after these 2 difficult years for everyone. And I think those were all the key things that we wanted to know from you and share back to the rest of the community, especially those from other countries that are not participating in Eurovision. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
great to
you.
meet you, and we wish you the best at Eurovision Australia Decides. And yeah, we can wait to hear more from you.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you, Jorge. And are you coming next week?
Uh, I cannot, but I'll be watching, and my birthday is actually the next day, so it's gonna be like
Oh,
a celebration for
amazing.
me.
Okay, I'll try and send you happy birthday signs through the TV screen. I don't know how to say
Yeah.
this, but
That's okay. I'll receive them. Don't worry.
yeah.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
happy future birthday to you
Thank
and
you,
happy
Jaguar.
Eurovision.
Happy Eurovision season for you as well.